I simply parked the red Ferrari at the university gate, then left a few leftover Red Bull cans on the roof. Unexpectedly, a petite figure wearing a pink Lolita dress appeared in front of the car door. Wasn't this Dream King from the early childhood education department? I quickly rolled down the window, while silently viewing her information in my mind. The next second, a completely new information panel appeared before my eyes about her. Name Dream King, age 18, height 158 measurements, 36D, naturally gifted beauty score 95, favorability 0, critical hit count. The critical hit count was actually 0, and her beauty score was as high as 95 points. My heart instantly started pounding. A great joy surged within me. This was an SS2 card. I tried hard to suppress my excitement toward Dream King outside the car, revealing a gentle smile. Is something wrong? My mother is sick. She urgently needs money for surgery. I saw it on the roof of the car. She pointed at the Red Bull cans on the roof. Her voice, so soft, it was almost inaudible. I immediately understood. Take them down, I said softly, while opening the passenger door. Get in and talk. Dream King hesitated for a moment, but still obediently lifted her foot, took down the Red Bull cans, then carefully sat in the passenger seat. A faint maiden fragrance drifted into my nose, making my heart flutter. Only now did I begin to carefully observe Dream King from such a close distance, her long eyelashes trembling with her breath, her fair delicate hands clutching the hem of her dress, looking truly pitiful. As an experienced gentleman from my previous life, I considered myself to have seen plenty, but in front of Dream King, everything I had seen before felt like trash. This was the true, soft and lovely young girl, pure and natural without any impurities, adorable beyond words. My gaze unconsciously slid down to her long legs, wrapped in white stockings, with beautiful curves, not an ounce of excess fat. I felt something. Some primitive instinct inside my body was awakening. There is a saying, Lolita has 3 advantages: light body, soft and easy to push down. I took hold of Dream King's small hand, gently squeezing it, asking in a tender voice, can you tell me your story? Dream King's body trembled slightly. She wanted to pull away but was held even tighter. That warm feeling made her already flushed face burn even hotter. She hesitated for a moment, then stopped struggling, lowered her head and softly recounted her situation. My mother is sick. She needs 100,000 yuan for surgery. The doctor said if we delay any longer without operating, it will be very dangerous. But my family is very poor. My father even divorced my mother because of this. I have asked many relatives, but none of them would lend money. Just now when I finished my shift, I saw your car, and the drinks on the roof. She lifted her head, her eyes filled with pleading. I know what it means to leave drinks on the car roof. 100,000, I simply don't have. But to someone driving a Ferrari like you, it must be nothing. So I gathered all my courage, put on the dress I love most to come, beg you for help. By the end, tears were already brimming in her eyes. This knockoff Lolita dress was something she had saved frugally for months to buy, usually too reluctant to wear. So that's how it was. After listening, I released Dream King's hand, turned to lift her chin so she would look at me. 100,000 is a small matter. Dream King's eyes instantly lit up, filled with hope, but I changed my tone, the corners of my mouth curling into a smile. I am not a charity. Money cannot be given for free, you understand. Dream King bit her lip tightly, a blush rising on her snow-white face. She knew what this meant. But for my mother, I know as long as you lend me the money, I am willing to do anything. She used all her strength to say this sentence. Very good, I nodded, then slightly leaned in to cup her small face. The sudden closeness made Dream King's heart beat wildly, her eyes filled with panic. Right after, a warm sensation landed on her lips. This was her first kiss. Dream King's body trembled lightly. The kiss ended. I looked at the young girl before me with dreamy eyes, blushing cheeks, thoughtfully fastening her seatbelt for her. Once ready, the Ferrari let out a low roar, quickly merging into the city traffic. The entire way the atmosphere inside the car was rather quiet. Dream King curled up in the passenger seat, both hands clutching the seatbelt, face still red, head lowered, not daring to look. Dream King, you can do it. As long as you get through tonight, the surgery money for mother will be there. He did make that request, but he doesn't seem as rough and scary as I thought, and he is really handsome. About half an hour later, the Ferrari slowly stopped at the entrance of a high-end apartment complex. don't rush upstairs. I unbuckled my seatbelt, said to Dream King. Let's go to the supermarket with me to buy some things. There was a large supermarket beside the complex. I pushed the shopping cart, thinking silently, this is a strenuous activity. I need to eat well to have strength for work. Dream King blushed at my double-meaning words, lowered her head without speaking. I paid no attention, one hand pushing the cart, the other very naturally holding Dream King's hand. The two of us strolling through the fresh food section. I bought 2 premium steaks, and selected a few more vegetables. At checkout, next to the register was a shelf of personal items. I glanced over, casually took 3 boxes of condoms in different sizes, placing them on the conveyor belt with the groceries. The people in line around us were extremely envious, feeling the surrounding gazes. Dream King wanted to find a hole to hide in. Her small hand in mine shrank nervously, palm covered in sweat. After paying, I carried the bags with my left hand, right hand holding hers as we walked out of the supermarket. The two of us passed through the community garden, took the elevator straight to the 6th floor door, opened with fingerprint. With a beep, the door unlocked. Upon seeing the interior, Dream King was stunned. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the sparkling night view. Inside was luxurious decor she had never seen. Hungry? Have you eaten dinner? I put the bags at the entrance, asking gently. Dream King snapped out of it, awkwardly shook her head. I usually don't eat in the evening, to save money. Seeing her like this, my heart softened. I pulled Dream King's hand, walked into the kitchen, which was even larger than her family's living room. Today I'll cook, let you taste my culinary skills. Soon, the kitchen was filled with the aroma of butter-seared steak. Gurgle gurgle. Dream King smelled the fragrance. Her stomach couldn't help but rumble. She immediately blushed, instantly lowering her head in embarrassment. I heard it and chuckled, this girl is really adorable. I turned off the stove, turned back and pointed at my own lips. Smiling, said, I worked hard cooking. No reward for me. Dream King understood. She struggled inwardly for a moment, looking at my smiling face. Then, like possessed, nodded, then tiptoed, closed her eyes, quickly kissed my lips. I smiled. I plated the finished steak and side dishes, brought them to the dining table, 3 dishes and 1 soup, 2 meat dishes, 1 vegetable, and a steaming bowl of tomato egg soup. Come eat quickly. It won't taste good when cold. I pulled the slightly shy Dream King to sit down. While eating, I noticed she was very reserved, only picking vegetables in front of her. So I proactively picked a large piece of steak for Dream King, cut it into small pieces, and brought the fork to her lips. Open your mouth. Dream King felt very uncomfortable, but seeing my handsome face and gentle eyes, and since she needed my help, obediently opened her mouth to accept my feeding. I smiled indulgently, feeling feeding wasn't enough, so I gave her some more imported dishes. This meal was eaten very warmly and affectionately. The atmosphere also heated up. After eating, the two of us cleared the dishes together. I put them in the dishwasher. Then, I took out a brand new bath towel set from the cabinet, handed it to Dream King. Go shower first. Everything in the bathroom is new. Dream King took it, lowered her head and hummed, ran into the bathroom. An hour later, the bathroom door finally opened gently. I heard the sound and looked over stunned. Dream King wrapped in a white bath towel, barely covering her body. She felt uneasy under my gaze, both hands clutching the towel edges. Softly said, I'm done showering. My throat swallowed. I stood up from the sofa, walked to stand in front of Dream King. I am 182 centimeters tall. Dream King, only 158 centimeters. The huge height difference made her seem even tinier before me. I reached out to pat Dream King's head, then slowly bent down, whispering beside her flushed ear, be good. Wait for me in the bedroom. I took less than 5 minutes, showering quickly, like a battle, body still carrying damp steam as I came out. When I opened the bedroom door, a gentle shampoo scent wafted out. Dream King was sitting at the vanity beside the bed, body wrapped in that slightly oversized bath towel, holding a hairdryer, blowing her long wet hair. Because I entered suddenly, her small hand holding the dryer trembled, almost dropping it. Let me help you. I smiled, naturally walked behind her, took the dryer from her hand. Warm air from my fingertips spread out, gently passing through each strand of her hair. Dream King's body immediately stiffened. She could clearly see from the mirror behind my serious expression. In Dream King's heart, it was like 100 rabbits were locked inside, jumping wildly. She had originally thought what would follow would be the cold brutal transaction. She had imagined. But why was he so gentle? This gentleness made her let down all defenses. She even had an absurd illusion. As if the two of them were really a passionately in love couple. A few minutes later, I turned off the dryer, wrapped her now fluffy soft long hair around my fingers. Done. My low voice sounded from above. Then I took out the pink Lolita dress she had changed into earlier. Put this on. I smiled at the corners of my mouth. Dream King's cheeks burned red. She hadn't expected me to make such a request, but looking into my deep eyes, she still nodded like possessed. Took the dress. Can you go out first? Dream King asked tentatively. Of course, I smiled and nodded, then turned and left the bedroom. A few minutes later, from inside the room came Dream King's voice. I'm done. I opened the door and walked into the bedroom. When Dream King appeared before me again, my breathing stopped for a moment. Pink Lolita dress. Layered skirt only reaching above the knees, revealing long legs covered in white over the knee stockings, tightly wrapping those slender straight calves. Two cute ponytails hanging in front of her shoulders, combined with that exquisite beautiful yet innocent face. Simply, like a doll that walked out of the 2D world. I took a deep breath, stepped forward, spread my arms wide, gently embracing this slender figure. Dream King's body clearly trembled, stiff as a board. I wasn't in a hurry for the next step, only gently stroking her back with my hand, like comforting a frightened little cat. Ready? I asked softly beside her ear, making her ear itch. Dream King in my arms, almost unconsciously let out a soft moan. Receiving the affirmative answer, I forcefully bent down, a standard princess carry lifting Dream King up. Dream King let out a short surprised cry. Instinctively hugging my neck, I strode to the bed, gently placing her on the large soft bed. Dream King could clearly feel the heat coming from my body, as well as my hurried breathing. An indescribable tension made her heart completely lose control, but I seemed in no rush. I looked up, on Dream King's bright plump small face, gently planted a kiss. Dream King's heart raced nonstop, fundamentally not daring to open her eyes. Before she could react further, I had already kissed her. This was a gentle kiss, but carrying an undeniable dominance. I don't know how long passed. I looked at Dream King with dreamy eyes, the corners of my mouth curling into a wicked triumphant smile. I pressed close to her flushed ear, using a magnetic voice, softly said, "Call me husband." Dream King's face turned crimson, softly calling husband husband. My heart was filled with joy almost bubbling, then lowered my head to kiss again. At the same time, the system notification sound kept ringing continuously. Ding. Dream King's favorability increased to 30. Reward 10 million cash. Dream King's favorability increased to 70. Reward 10 million cash. At 3 a.m., I held the sleeping beauty in my arms. At this moment, Dream King was like an obedient kitten, curled up in my embrace. Her long eyelashes still had glistening teardrops, but the corners of her mouth carried a satisfied smile. Looking at her peaceful sleeping face, sweetness filled my heart. In my previous life of 30 years, I had never even seriously held a girl's hand, never expected that after rebirth I would directly reach the peak in one step. I moved my mind, called up my system panel. Age, 21. Height, 182. Beauty, 90. Leg length, 15. Ultimate ability, 5. Balance 40 million. From today, Anthony Sue is also a proper tycoon. I unconsciously rubbed my lower back. Seems I need to strengthen exercise in the future. I adjusted to a comfortable position, gently burying my face into the hair of the sleeping Dream King. The next day at 11 a.m., I slowly opened my eyes from a sea of softness. The moment I opened them, I saw the quiet and sweet sleeping face of Dream King. Dream King made a cute nasal sound. Her eyelids fluttered lightly, then slowly opened, those big clear eyes, making her shyly cry out. Her small face instantly turned red as a ripe apple, instinctively burying her entire face into my warm chest. After a moment of intimacy, I took the phone from the nightstand, said to the little kitten in my arms, "Let's add each other." Only now did Dream King blush and peek out from my chest, also taking out her old phone. Beep, successfully added as friends. I looked at her cute little rabbit nickname, smiled, then opened the transfer interface. Without hesitation, typed a long string of numbers. Ding dong. Dream King's phone made a notification sound. She curiously tapped it. When she saw the transfer amount displayed on the screen, Her whole body froze. You transferred to friend 5 million yuan. She tried hard to blink, counted the zeros again, confirming she hadn't misread. This enormous sum left her overwhelmed with favor. She almost immediately wanted to decline, her small hand frantically waving Anthony Su. This is too much. Mother's surgery only needs 100,000, but I firmly pressed her hand, using an unquestionable domineering tone said, if I give it to you, take it. A man's money is also a woman's money. If it's not enough, come ask me again. I pinched her snow-white cheeks, gazed deep as I looked at her, word by word, adding, you are my person, you are not allowed to worry about money. This sentence was like a warm current, instantly striking the softest spot in Dream King's heart. His person, she murmured, repeating those 4 words, her eyes turning red. From childhood to now, besides, no one had ever been this good to her. Great emotion and grievance surged together. She could no longer control herself, fiercely throwing herself into my arms, sobbing softly. Thank you, Anthony Su. Really thank you. I gently patted her back, softly comforting. Only when her emotions calmed a bit, did I smile. Wickedly lift her chin, lightly exhale. Only knows how to say thank you. What should you call me in the future, husband? The voice was very soft, carrying a little tremble, but like the sweetest honey, instantly melting my heart. Almost the moment she finished speaking, in my mind, the system sound exploded. Ding, detected target character Dream King. Favorability increased. Current favorability 100. Conquest condition met, full favorability value. Drawing random ability. Ding. Congratulations, host obtained special ability, Max Physique. Max Physique grants the host physical fitness near the human limit. Ha 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 ha. The future is worth looking forward to. The future is worth looking forward to. Dream King completely surrendered her heart, plus the God tier ability rewarded by the system, making me extremely delighted. I happily cupped her small face, forcefully pinched those rosy plump cheeks and lips several times. Quick, get up, shower and pack. Dream King obediently hugged my neck, softly humming, yes. Now, she was already Anthony Su's woman, was husband's woman. Whatever husband told her to do, she would do. A few minutes later, the sound of rushing water came from the bathroom. I felt refreshed, face, still carrying an excited smile. Then, humming a little tune, walked into the kitchen, preparing to make lunch. Soon, a rich aroma of food spread from the kitchen, awakening the little hungry monster. In Dream King's stomach, gurgle gurgle. She clutched her stomach, feeling even hungrier, so she supported her soft waist, struggling to crawl up from the sofa, following the aroma to the kitchen door, only to see me wearing an apron, holding a wok, the smooth muscle lines of my arms, cooking movements, smooth and complete, full of masculine charm. This image of a family-oriented man instantly enchanted Dream King. Husband is so amazing. Being his girlfriend is really great. While eating, this afternoon, are you going to the hospital to visit mother? With the money husband gave, I can pay mother's surgery fees. Let the doctor arrange the operation soon. I gently said. Yes. After eating, I'll go with you. Dream King froze, then lowered her head, slowly scooping rice. A suspicious blush crept up her fair neck. Husband wants to go with me to visit mother. This counts as meeting the parents, right? What to do, so nervous? Would mother think I don't know. The little thoughts in her heart. I only saw her eating speed clearly slow down, to help her replenish strength. I picked up a piece of sweet and sour pork rib to my mouth, then leaned close. Dream King saw my handsome face so near, immediately understood the feeding meaning. She blushed, happily accepting. Now, although she was still shy, she no longer had the guarded unease from yesterday. She could truly feel this man really liked her, even loved her. At this time, after finishing lunch, I looked at Dream King's satisfied small face, smiled and asked, full. Dream King nodded vigorously. Let's go. I'll go with you to give your mother a surprise, and conveniently meet mother-in-law. I stood up, deliberately teasing her. Dream King's face instantly turned completely red, the chopsticks in her hand almost falling. Husband wants to go with me to visit mother. This is definitely meeting the parents. Her heart was pounding, both nervous and expectant. I drove the Ferrari, carrying the daydreaming Dream King, straight toward City People's Hospital. 1 hour later, the car stopped in the hospital parking lot. I followed Dream King, familiarly walking to the outside of an ordinary ward. The moment Dream King's mother stepped through the door, she rushed to the bedside, excitedly crying out, I have the money now. We can pay for the surgery now. Lian Li slowly opened her eyes. Seeing her daughter, her gaze revealed a bit of tenderness, but immediately darkened again. She weakly held Dream King's hand. Hoarse voice, Dream King, don't work so hard anymore. Mother doesn't want treatment anymore. Doesn't want to burden you anymore. Saying that, tears poured from the corners of her eyes. Dream King's eyes instantly turned red. She forcefully shook her head. Voice firm, no. Mother, I will definitely cure you. Don't worry about money. I've already solved it. Just as mother and daughter were at an impasse, I carried the fruit basket I had just bought and walked in, placed the fruit basket on the bedside cabinet, smiled gently at Lian Li. Auntie, hello. The money is ready. Auntie, don't worry. Just focus on recovering is most important. My voice was very gentle, making the gloomy atmosphere in the ward ease considerably. Only now did Lian Li notice. Behind her daughter followed a man. He was very tall with outstanding temperament. That face handsome beyond words. Dream King, who is this person? Lian Li asked suspiciously. Dream King's small face turned red, naturally walked to my side, then held my arm. Proud, yet shy. Introducing Mom. This is my boyfriend Anthony Su. Also, the one who gave the surgery money. Boyfriend. Lian Li's eyes instantly widened. She carefully sized me up. From head to toe, the more she looked, the more her heart sank. This young man clearly wasn't ordinary. How could he fall for her silly daughter who only had pure beauty, and nothing else? Could he have been tricked by her daughter with money, thinking that her daughter might have paid an irreparable price to treat her? Lian Li immediately felt heartbroken, guilt toward her daughter growing deeper. With one glance I saw through Lian Li's worry. I calmly held Dream King's hand, sincerely said to Lian Li. Auntie, rest assured, I truly like Dream King. She is very lovable. I will treat her well. Dream King, hearing this, heart filled with sweetness, quickly added, yes, Mom, husband is very good to me. Rest assured. One word husband directly made Lian Li dazed. She opened her mouth wide, looking at her daughter, that small blushing shy face, then at me beside with a smiling expression. Already calling him husband. This development is too fast. Daughter, you've been sold and are still helping count the money. Lian Li sighed inwardly, finally showing a bitter smile. Things had reached this point. Her daughter was willing. What more could a patient lying in bed say? Only hoped this man was truly as he said. Good to Dream King. Just then the ward atmosphere was slightly awkward. The door was pushed open. A figure in a white coat walked in. That person wore a mask, but just the cold eyes and tall figure were enough to brighten one's eye. Family of patient Lian Li. The patient's condition cannot be delayed further. If surgery is not arranged soon, future risks will be very high. The cold voice rang out, carrying professional authority that brooked no doubt. My gaze was immediately drawn over. At the same time, the system panel appeared before my eyes. Name: White Jasmine. Age 26, height 173 measurements, 36D beauty, 90 favorability, 1. Critical hit count 0. Inner evaluation slightly domineering. Seeing the panel I almost couldn't maintain my expression. Another 90-point beauty, and critical hit count still 0. When I saw the evaluation, I couldn't help exclaiming, heavens. What kind of tiger wolf words are these? Is this a tag a proper doctor should have? System, you're not right. My gaze casually swept over her body. The white coat couldn't hide her proud figure, especially those long legs wrapped in trousers. Slender White Jasmine, this name feels so familiar. Suddenly it clicked in my mind. Remembered. Wasn't this from my previous life? On some late night, I secretly studied a work called Blue Sky Airlines, the female lead. My heart stirred. A bold idea emerged. Doctor, we'll go pay now. I snapped out of it, immediately expressing, please arrange the surgery, immediately. Use the best medicine, best equipment. Money is no issue. Saying that I walked toward White Jasmine, face wearing a warm smile. Dr. White, right. Really, thank you for convenience in discussing Auntie's condition. Anytime. Can we add WeChat? This reason was perfectly reasonable, impossible to refuse. White Jasmine's cold eyes looked at me, without overthinking, took out her phone and exchanged contacts with me. I'll go pay first. Dream King, you stay with Auntie. I instructed Dream King, then turned and left the ward. The payment process was very smooth. 100,000 for surgery and future treatment. I paid without blinking. Returning to the ward, White Jasmine had already left. I simply said a few words to Dream King and Lian Li, then used the excuse of discussing surgery details with the attending doctor, left the ward again. I went to the nurse's station, asked a blushing little nurse to invite Dr. White Jasmine to the corridor. Anthony Su, you were looking for me. White Jasmine's voice was still clear. Dr. White, about the surgery details for Auntie Lian, I want to discuss thoroughly with you. If not inconvenient, let's go to the rooftop for some air. I extended the invitation. White Jasmine's brows slightly furrowed, a flash of hesitation in her eyes. What does a patient's family need to discuss that specially requires the rooftop? She instinctively wanted to refuse, but looking at my smiling yet seemingly all-seeing deep eyes, like possessed, she nodded. All right. The hospital rooftop had very strong wind, blowing White Jasmine's white coat fluttering. The two stood side by side at the railing, looking down at the traffic and crowds below. Dr. White, what exactly is my auntie's illness? What is the surgery success rate? I spoke first, voice very sincere. Early stage cervical cancer, discovered in time, can be cured by surgical removal. Success rate over 95%. Afterward, just regular checkups. White Jasmine answered professionally, casually tucking a stray hair behind her ear. I listened, while unintentionally moving closer to her, taking a small step back. Our shoulders lightly touched. White Jasmine's body slightly tense, but she didn't move away. I could clearly smell the scent from her body, a mix of disinfectant and light fragrance, very pleasant to smell. After finishing the condition, I changed my tone, voice becoming casual. Dr. White, so young and promising, and this beautiful, must already have a boyfriend, right? A trace of discomfort flashed across White Jasmine's cold face. She tilted her body to avoid my gaze. This is my private matter. If there's nothing else, I'll go first. Saying that, she turned to leave. Dr. White, I called from behind her, face wearing a confident smile. It's fine, or contact me. Reply soon, okay? White Jasmine's footsteps paused, but she didn't turn back, quickly disappearing through the rooftop door. I looked at her graceful retreating back, corners of my mouth curling into a smile. Ding detected. Target character White Jasmine favorability increased. Current favorability. A little expectation. I returned to the ward in a good mood, informed Dream King and Lian Li the good news: surgery scheduled for the day after tomorrow. Wonderful, thank you, husband. Dream King was moved to tears. Lian Li also showed a long-absent relieved smile. She held her daughter's hand, seriously instructing, Dream King, little Su is a good man. You must be obedient and listen to him in the future, understand? I know, Mom. Dream King nodded vigorously. Visiting ended. It was already dark. Considering tomorrow, Dream King still needed to care for her mother at the hospital, I directly booked a 5-star hotel near a high-end suite, swiped the card to open the door. The two walked into the luxurious room. The moment I closed the door, a soft body threw itself into my arms. Dream King hugged me tightly, burying her face in my chest, voice full of gratitude. Husband, thank you for doing so much for my mother and me. I indulgently stroked her small head, corners of my mouth curling into a wicked smile. Only knows to thank with words. Dream King's small face burned hot, too shy to look, but still gently nodded. I listened to everything husband says. I smiled lightly, then bent down to gently kiss. Part with the 3 dots handled wicked smile. Dream King's favorability 100. Congratulations, host received 10 million cash. Dream King's favorability 100. Congratulations, host received 10 million cash. 9 p.m. On the large bed in the hotel suite, I half reclined against the headboard, holding the deeply sleeping Dream King in my arms. The girl like an obedient milk cat, corners of her mouth still carrying a sweet smile. I lowered my head to kiss her forehead. Looking at this girl who was completely devoted to me, a full sense of accomplishment rose in my heart. This was even more addictive than watching bank account numbers jump. Of course, money is also very important. I moved my mind, called up the system panel. Balance 55 million. Looking at that long string of numbers, my mouth smiled so wide with this much money. In the past, I only saw it in Chengdu. Not bad, not bad. Halfway to a small goal already. Once Dream King's mother recovers, must change her living place to something better. Can't stay in that small rundown house anymore. Buying a small garden villa wouldn't be bad. Let the old lady plant flowers, dance square dances, enjoy her later years. And for myself, Of course, must buy a large manor, many rooms. Must have swimming pools and gardens. Basic home theater and gym cannot be missing. Later make friends with a few more girls like Dream King, who suit my taste. Everyone living together, that would be the immortal life just at this moment. My phone on the nightstand vibrated. I picked it up to see. It was a new WeChat message. Seeing the sender, the corners of my mouth curled into a wicked smile. It was exactly the beautiful Dr. White Jasmine I added during the day. White Jasmine asleep yet. Short 3 words at this time. The information content could be huge. They say people who overthink at night, emotions become especially fragile and rich. This beautiful doctor who seemed cold during the day, could she be feeling lonely? I immediately became interested. I adjusted my position, letting Dream King in my arms sleep more comfortably, then left arm steadily holding her. Right hand raised the phone, took a photo of myself and Dream King. In the photo, clear chest muscles. Dream King in my arms, only showing her long, messy hair, and sweet cheek, leaving infinite room for imagination. I sent the photo, then typed another line. Too much fire, can't sleep. This hint was almost short of writing I'm busy, but still want to chat with you. Fire chat. This sentence directly hit the public screen. Staff dormitory of City People's Hospital. White Jasmine had just showered, wrapped in a bath towel, sitting at the desk. When she saw the photo I sent, her heart skipped half a beat. The powerful male body in the photo made her cheeks blush, breathing become faster. She took a deep breath, trying to stay calm, replying, White Jasmine, I don't care about your private life. I contacted you for proper business. Tomorrow morning the patient's family needs to come sign the surgical risk agreement. I looked at the message and smiled lightly. Child. Still pretending mouth says, doesn't care. Didn't she still reply to me? If really didn't care, should block directly. I thought Dr. White missed me, specially came to interrogate. Please be serious. I am very serious. Right now I am thinking about a very serious medical question. Want to ask Dr. White. What question? You say one kidney has limited power. If overworked for long periods, will it affect lifespan? White Jasmine looked at this message, frozen for 3 seconds before reacting to my meaning. This rogue boring haha, just joking. Dr. White, rest early. See you tomorrow. Oh, don't forget to miss me. Good night. Lightly tapped send. White Jasmine looked at the screen, bit her lip, face both hot and warm. Finally, she didn't reply anymore. Directly placed the phone face down on the desk. I knew when to stop. No rush, no hurry. 6:30. I was already refreshed. Dream King had turned back into a soft little mushroom. She blushed and sent a message asking for 1 day off to her class teacher. Only then did the two get up and wash. Drove to the hospital just past 7. Just in time for White Jasmine, leading several interns on rounds. Today, White Jasmine still wore the white coat, wearing a mask, clear temperament. She stood before Lian Li's bed, speaking steadily, instructing pre-surgery precautions. Auntie, today need blood tests. Then family must come. Sign the surgical risk agreement. Tomorrow morning first, no eating. Lian Li kept nodding. And standing beside was me, not hiding my invasive gaze at all. Interestingly, roaming over White Jasmine's body curves still seductive under the white coat. White Jasmine felt my gaze, heart slightly flustered. But on the surface, she still maintained professionalism and calm. After finishing the instructions, she led the intern doctors to turn and leave the ward. In the moment our shoulders brushed, White Jasmine felt the back of her hand, quickly touched by something warm. Just once right there, making her whole body shiver, as if struck by electricity. She unconsciously glanced at me, only to see me directing toward her a wicked charming smile. White Jasmine's heart instantly raced, no longer daring to linger, quickly stepping away from the ward, looking at her hurried retreating figure. The smile on my lips grew deeper. Not long after, a nurse pushed a small cart in to draw blood for Lian Li. After the blood draw, I said to Dream King, you stay here with Mom and chat. I'll go to the cafeteria to buy some breakfast, eat there, and bring some back for you too. Okay, husband. Dream King obediently nodded, walking out of the ward heading toward the cafeteria, while taking out my phone to send a message to White Jasmine. After your rounds are done, come eat breakfast together. After sending, I smiled and slipped the phone back into my pocket, whistling, as I walked toward the cafeteria. The hospital cafeteria was crowded and lively. I bought a large bowl of spicy soup, 2 steamers of little dragon buns, and 2 tea eggs. Found a seat near the window. No choice now. I expend massive physical energy every day. Have to eat more. Just took a sip of the soup. My phone vibrated. Opened it and saw White Jasmine's reply. Only 2 words. Location. I grinned good. I quickly snapped a photo of where I was sitting, deliberately adjusting the angle, including my handsome face in the frame, then sent it to White Jasmine. While waiting, I sipped the spicy soup slowly, but in my heart I was pondering a profound philosophical question. Reborn once with a god-level tycoon system, I have no intention of doing the one life, one love, one couple thing. The pure little male student type. My goal is the spirit of the great ocean, to give every girl in the world who needs warmth a home to shield her. As for whether Dream King would be jealous, no big problem. I will use facts to let her know, she alone simply cannot handle me. By then, she will probably beg to add a few more sisters, to share the firepower. A few minutes later, a dazzling figure appeared at the cafeteria entrance. It was White Jasmine she had changed out of the white coat into a simple white shirt and black trousers, yet still unable to hide her tall, proud figure and cold temperament, instantly drawing countless gazes in the cafeteria. Bought a bowl of plain porridge, 1 steamed bun, 1 tea, egg, walked straight to my table, sat down across from me. I looked up and smiled at her, then used an unquestionable tone, said, "Come sit beside me." White Jasmine's movements paused. A strange flash passed through her cold eyes. "Aren't you afraid your little girlfriend will get jealous?" Hearing this, I became amused. I put down my chopsticks, leaned my body slightly forward, lowered my voice. "Dr. White, you don't understand." White Jasmine fell silent. In her 26 years of life, this was the first time she met someone who could say the word Sea King so righteously, so elegantly, even carrying a kind of grand ideal of sacrificing himself for others. Yet for some reason, not only did she not feel repulsed, she actually felt a foolish urge to really sit over there. I saw on her exquisite face her expression shift from conflict back to coldness, knowing the heat was still a little short. Cannot push too hard. So I smiled, proactively changed the topic. "Never mind that. I just wanted to ask, after Auntie Lian's surgery is done, about how long until discharge." Hearing me suddenly switch to a serious topic, inside White Jasmine, an inexplicable sense of loss rose. What did he mean by this? Could it be because I just rejected his request? He thinks there's no play left, and won't come to the hospital anymore. A devilish thought emerged. She almost without thinking, said, "The patient's condition needs observation, conservatively at least 1 week. But if recovery is slow, it may take about a month to be discharged." In reality, this type of surgery, if smooth, 1 week is enough. But she didn't know why. She just wanted to say a longer time. 1 month, huh? I thought about it and nodded. "All right, got it." I looked up toward White Jasmine, revealing a brilliant smile. "Then when Auntie Lian is discharged, I must thank you properly. At that time I'll treat you to dinner and cold beer." At this moment, hearing the 3 words cold beer, White Jasmine's long eyelashes uncontrollably trembled. This guy, how can he say something so shameless, with such a serious tone? Everyone knows drinking cold beer means going to a hotel. No need. Caring for patients is my duty as a doctor. White Jasmine pretended to be cold as she spoke. She sipped her plain porridge in small mouthfuls, trying to use this action to hide her heartbeat that was about to go chaotic. Damn it. Though reason told her she should stand up and leave immediately, stay far away from this dangerous man, but deep in her heart, damn it, she actually wanted to go a little. I looked at her still putting on airs. Knew this girl was still stubborn. All right, no rush dealing with the cold outside hot inside type. Cannot rush. Must take it slow. Too strong, a fire easily scares people away. I smiled. No longer continued this topic. The two began eating in silence. However, under the table it was not so quiet. While drinking my spicy soup, I imperceptibly stretched my long legs. Under the table, I lightly kicked White Jasmine with my foot. White Jasmine's body instantly stiffened. The hand holding her spoon froze mid-air. What is he doing? White Jasmine suspiciously looked up, only to see me staring at her, with eyes full of aggression. At this exact moment, her heart raced nonstop. Her mind instantly became a mess. One voice screamed, "Stand up now and scold him, pervert." Another voice softly said, "Don't move, don't move." It actually feels quite stimulating. Just as she hesitated undecided, I saw she didn't immediately get angry. My courage grew. I picked up my tray, neatly moved to sit right beside White Jasmine. White Jasmine was startled by my sudden action, turned her head to glare at me, once again renewing her understanding of this man's thick-skinned level. She unconsciously shifted to the side, wanting to be farther from me, but the moment she moved a little, I pressed closer. She moved, I followed, until White Jasmine had no more room to move. She finally couldn't hold it in, looked at me with a bit of anger. And at this moment I was smirking, wearing a triumphant expression of, "See what you can do to me." That gaze seemed to say, "Little kid, where else can you run?" White Jasmine felt her cheeks burn hot enough to fry an egg. In her 26 years, because of her cold personality, plus strict family control, no man around her had ever dared actively pursue her, let alone someone like me, directly and straightforwardly flirting with her like this. This feeling was very novel, making her both a little thrilled by this tense excitement, and a little resistant to this feeling of losing control. Hee hee. I let out a wicked laugh, breaking the deadlock. "Dr. White, eat quickly. The porridge will get cold," I said, then stopped looking at her. White Jasmine had no way to deal with me, could only angrily turn her head back, lowered her head and forcefully drank her plain porridge, wanting to use food to vent the embarrassment and anger inside. The corners of my mouth couldn't help curling up. The little movements under the table did not stop at all. Halfway through eating, I suddenly pretended to stretch, then naturally placed my hand on White Jasmine's shoulder. White Jasmine's body trembled, almost spitting out the porridge in her mouth. She completely gave up resisting, lowered her head and silently ate, pretending nothing was happening. But deep inside her heart, she couldn't help feeling a secret joy. I smiled at the corners of my mouth, my heart already blooming with happiness. Hee hee. Women say no with their mouths, but their bodies are honest. Wait until I add a bit more strength. When you beg me, I still won't give it to you. After eating, White Jasmine's cheeks were rosy, as if she had been in a sauna for an hour. She practically fled. I looked at her, hurried back, smiled and shook my head, then went to the counter to pack 2 more breakfast sets. One set for my little dream king, one set for my future mother-in-law. In the afternoon, Lee's blood test results came out. Everything normal. The nurse specially came to inform. Surgery scheduled for 9 a.m. tomorrow. I originally wanted to upgrade Lee to a quieter single room, but was refused by the old lady. She said being alone is too boring. A regular ward is more lively, usually can chat with other patients for fun. Seeing this, I didn't insist anymore. Spent a day in the hospital. I felt a bit bored. Nicotine addiction also kicked in. Been here over 2 days, haven't had a proper smoke once. I greeted Dream King, said I'm going downstairs to buy a pack of China cigarettes and get some fresh air. Then, at the convenience store below the hospital, bought a soft, lit one and took 2 drags. Immediately saw a familiar figure walking out from the hospital building. It was White Jasmine. She was holding her phone, talking. Beautiful brows, tightly knitted, voice sounding very annoyed. How many times have I said it? I don't want to go on blind dates. I'm very busy, have no time. That nephew of Aunt Zhang would ever. What does Uncle's son have to do with me? Let those two be paired together. All right. I still have work hung up first. I stood not far away, listening with great interest, corners of my mouth slightly raised. So she's being pressured by family to marry, until White Jasmine unhappily hung up. I extinguished the cigarette butt, slowly walked over. Never expected the excellent beauty, Dr. White, would be forced by family into blind dates. My voice was full of teasing. White Jasmine had just been filled with anger from the phone call. This is none of your business. Why? Not my business. I stepped closer, lowered my voice. Using a volume only we could hear, said, if you really marry those trash guys, I might actually feel heartbroken. After saying that, I extended an invitation to White Jasmine. I see you're in a bad mood. How about we go to the rooftop, chat for 5 minutes? Sweet time. White Jasmine was already upset inside, hearing my suggestion. Again devilishly nodded, perhaps finding someone to talk to, and feel the wind wasn't a bad choice. The two walked shoulder to shoulder into the elevator. Inside the elevator, only the two of them. As the elevator doors slowly closed, in the narrow space, the atmosphere instantly became warm. I didn't stand beside her, instead deliberately moved behind and diagonal to her. During the elevator ride up, I pretended to accidentally lean forward, step by step, pushing White Jasmine into the corner of the elevator. You White Jasmine was frightened inside by my aggressive action. Her back pressed tightly against the cold elevator wall. I let out a wicked laugh, placed both arms against the wall on either side of her body, forming a standard kabedon. I lowered my head, pressing close to her ear. Dr. White. Today she had just asked. How could she expect I would be so bold? Kabedon in the elevator. The corners of my mouth slightly lifted, looking at her like a startled deer. My heart felt indescribably satisfied. Without a word, I just stared at White Jasmine's beautiful face. My gaze full of aggression, as if wanting to see through her skin, into the depths of her soul. White Jasmine was stared at until panicked, her eyes constantly dodging, fundamentally not daring to meet mine, her long eyelashes trembling lightly from nervousness. Next, my head slowly lowered, probingly drawing closer to her, her red lips slightly parted from tension, closer and closer. White Jasmine could clearly feel my hot breath. Her mind became completely blank, body stiff, unable to move. Finally, she gave up all resistance, like accepting fate. Slowly closed her eyes, quietly waiting for my kiss. But right at the moment our lips were about to touch, ding! The clear elevator bell rang. The elevator reached the rooftop. The doors slowly opened. The rooftop wind blew in, also blowing away the extremely warm atmosphere. Inside the elevator, White Jasmine suddenly opened her eyes in shock. While I had already stepped back, restoring my playful demeanor, I reached out, used my index finger, gently scratched the tip of White Jasmine's straight nose, smiled, and said, "Why did you close your eyes? Did you think I was going to kiss you?" Her little thoughts pierced in public. White Jasmine's cheeks instantly turned red. She hurriedly pretended to fix her wind-blown hair, using it to hide her shame and embarrassment. Then, without turning her head, walked out of the elevator first. I looked at her, hurried back, corners of my mouth curling into a wicked smile. "Little kid, you're completely in my grasp now." Then I followed up. The two came again to the previous spot. The rooftop wind was very strong, blowing White Jasmine's white coat tight against her body. "Dr. White, if your family forces you on blind dates again, I can be your shield." White Jasmine fell silent upon hearing this. She of course knew my meaning. Nothing else than pretending to be her boyfriend, to deal with her family's endless blind date arrangements. This offer was actually very tempting, but the problem was we had only known each other one day, and most importantly, I already had a girlfriend, that cute girl named Dream King, who was now downstairs in the ward with her mother. Having a girlfriend yet still coming to flirt with her, White Jasmine felt an inexplicable sourness and loss rise in her heart. She lightly shook her head, pulled farther away from me, used a cold voice, said, "Anthony Sue, have some self-respect. You already have a girlfriend. Please have self-respect." I lightly laughed, as if hearing the world's biggest joke. "Don't be like that, Dr. White. We're all adults." Moreover, I stomped out the cigarette I had only taken 2 drags of, then stepped forward, again closing in on White Jasmine. I lowered my head, pressing into her ear. Softly, said White Jasmine, "Do you think you're so noble?" White Jasmine heard this. Her body uncontrollably trembled. "That's right, if I were really noble, I wouldn't have closed my eyes in the elevator just now. If I were really noble, I basically wouldn't have any contact with him outside of work. If I were really noble, I absolutely wouldn't devilishly agree to eat breakfast with him." Seeing her defenses completely collapse, my smile deepened. I reached out, gently stroked her wind-tossed hair, then smoothly lifted her delicate little face. My palm was very hot. White Jasmine's cheeks heated up accordingly. She, like accepting fate, closed her eyes once more. Seeing this, I smiled, prepared to kiss. The phone in my pocket rang at the worst time, the ringtone like a bucket of cold water, instantly waking White Jasmine from her trance. She suddenly pushed me away hard, like waking from a dream, pulling distance between us, face full of panic. "Damn it," I cursed with annoyance on my face. Irritably took out the phone. When I saw the screen showing Baby Dream King, the annoyance on my face instantly vanished, replaced by an indulgent smile. I was about to answer, when a bolder, more stimulating idea suddenly flashed in my mind. I walked behind White Jasmine, ignoring her panicked and resisting gaze, hugged her tightly from behind. "What are you doing? Let me go." White Jasmine cried out in fear, lowering her voice, starting to struggle hard. But the strength difference between men and women was too great. My arms, like iron clamps, held her firmly in my embrace, making her unable to budge. I rested my chin on her shoulder, buried my face in her neck, greedily inhaling the scent from her hair. White Jasmine's initial fierce, struggling, gradually became weak. My embrace was too broad, too hot, too safe, making her always tense heart slowly relax. She could feel the shocking heat coming from the body behind, as well as my powerful heartbeat. Gradually, she gave up resisting, letting me hold her, bringing her to the rooftop railing. I let her lean against the cold railing, only then satisfied turned on speaker and answered. On the other end, immediately came Dream King's sweet voice. Husband, where are you? I still rested my chin on White Jasmine's shoulder, left hand holding the phone, right hand lightly hugging her slim waist. White Jasmine's body instantly stiffened, nervous to the point of not daring to breathe, while I acted as if nothing was wrong, using a gentle voice. Replied, what's up baby? I'm on the rooftop with Dr. White discussing tomorrow's surgery. Want to come up? Hearing me say this, White Jasmine's heart nearly jumped out of her throat. This man is too shameless. How dare he? Dream King on the other end had no suspicion at all. Surprised, said, really? Husband, I laughed and replied, really? Don't believe me, let Dr. White say hi to you. After saying that, I deliberately blew into White Jasmine's ear. Lowly laughed Dr. White. Say hi to my little baby. White Jasmine both embarrassed and angry. You're too much. Too much. Right now, she was using all her strength just to not make strange sounds. And he still wanted her to greet his girlfriend. White Jasmine's body trembled, couldn't take it anymore. She took a deep breath, toward the phone, forced herself to answer. Hello Dream King. I am White Jasmine. After saying this sentence, she felt all her strength drain. Her whole body instantly went limp in my arms. Her expression, a mix of shame, humiliation, and an indescribable bit of excitement. So complicated. Dream King on the other side heard, happily replied. It really is Dr. White. Husband, you're so nice. I'm coming up right now. I laughed and replied, okay, I'll wait for you here. You're crazy. Your girlfriend is coming up. Quickly let me go. Not only did I not release, I held her even tighter. I buried my face in White Jasmine's neck, deeply inhaled her pleasant scent, lightly laughed beside her ear. What is there to be afraid of? I have thick skin. At this moment, White Jasmine's heart raced. She could almost imagine Dream King pushing open the door, seeing the two of them in this position, hugging each other. Realizing struggling was useless, she gave up resisting. What do I have to do for you to let me go? Her voice carried a slight tremble, that even she didn't notice. Hearing her yield, the corners of my mouth curled into a triumphant smile. I really enjoyed this feeling, watching this usually aloof person beg me. My voice carried a few points of authority. White Jasmine fell silent. She closed her eyes, voice weak, carrying trembling humiliation. Begged Anthony Sue, please let me go, okay? I don't like this dry begging attitude. I blew hot air into White Jasmine's ear. The doctor said I like it lively. White Jasmine's body trembled, tightly bit her lower lip. Bastard, hurry up. My patience is limited. White Jasmine's final defense line collapsed, gave up resisting. Her body softened. She imitated the female leads from dramas in her memory, forced her voice, used a tone that made even herself blush, called in a pleading voice. Anthony Sue, please. Let me go. Okay. That voice was soft and sweet. The ending even had a little hook. I felt refreshed all over. This woman really is a treasure, just usually hidden by her cold exterior. This is more like it. I smiled satisfied, but had no intention of letting her off easy. Just this is not enough. Let me plant a strawberry. White Jasmine's body stiffened. At this moment, the rooftop door had already opened a crack. I agree, she unconsciously blurted. Permission granted. I didn't hesitate, lowered my head, planted a small strawberry mark. After finishing everything, only then did I comfortably release my arms. The moment I let go, Dream King pushed the door and ran in. Husband, Dr. White. White Jasmine, startled, hurriedly turned around, fumbled to fix her messed up collar. She tried to pretend calm, forced a smile uglier than crying. You two talk, I go down first. After saying that, she didn't dare look at me, lowered her head, quickly walked past Dream King, like she was fleeing. Dream King strangely watched White Jasmine hurry away, heart a bit puzzled. What's wrong with Dr. White? Face so red and in such a rush. She was about to ask me, when I grabbed her wrist. Take you to a good spot. I pulled her to a dead corner behind the rooftop ventilation pipe. Very hidden here, unless deliberately walking around, basically won't be discovered. "Husband, what are you doing?" Her little face slightly red. I didn't answer, only lowered my head and kissed her, just now holding white jasmine. The greedy worm inside me had been stimulated. No choice but to let my baby dream king bear it all. She sometimes really admired her husband. Simply turned into a capitalization of who. Whatever. He's my husband, what can I do? Spoil him. She closed her eyes. Obediently responded. After a while, just when she was gradually lost in it, suddenly smelled a scent that wasn't mine. It was a light, very pleasant female perfume, mixed faintly with the cigarette smell on me. This scent was like the one on Dr. White. A thought instantly flashed in her mind. Just now, husband and Dr. White on the rooftop. Dream King's heart sank hard, like being splashed with cold water. She suddenly realized she might have discovered something not simple. A bit of sourness and grievance rose. But very quickly, she forced herself to throw these thoughts away. Actually, she had already thought about it. A man who drives a Ferrari, puts Red Bull on the car roof. How could he hang himself on just one tree? Besides being young and pure, what else does she have? Poor family background, average education. In the end, it was still her climbing too high. He was willing to spend money on her, willing to be good to her, willing to accompany her to visit mom. That was already great kindness. What right did she have to demand his exclusivity? It's fine. As long as husband still has a place for her in his heart, still willing to be good to her. That's enough. Even if one day he gets tired of her, she will obediently leave, absolutely not causing him any trouble. Most importantly, husband is really too amazing. If more people can share, that would actually be pretty good. Thinking of this, the little grievance and unwillingness in Dream King's heart instantly vanished. She opened her eyes again, gaze becoming even gentler and more obedient, then proactively wrapped her arms around my neck tightly, pressed her body against mine, whispered coquettishly in my ear, "Husband, I like you so much." Dream King's favorability 100. Congratulations, host received 10 million cash. The cold system notification sounded in my mind. My face revealed a refreshed smile. I gently helped Dream King tidy her clothes, looking at her little shy appearance. Heart, extremely satisfied. I opened the system panel again. Age 21, height 182, beauty 90, leg length 15, ability max physique balance 75 million. 75 million. Not bad. Just one last kick from the small goal. I looked at this number. The obsessive-compulsive disorder in my heart suddenly flared. 75 million always feels like it's missing something. Better to make it 100 million for roundness. Let's push a bit more. Anyway, took the day off today. Have time. Thinking of this, my mood became very good. I put my arm around Dream King's shoulder, softly said, beside her ear, "Baby, let's go. We'll change places and continue." Dream King, still dizzy from my actions, hearing this only obediently nodded, letting me pull her away from the rooftop. I directly took Dream King out of the hospital, back to the high-end suite I had booked earlier. My balance under the system reward sounds shot up like a rocket. Dream King's favorability 100. Congratulations, host received 10 million cash. Dream King's favorability 100. Congratulations, host received 10 million cash. When the academic research ended, outside the window, it was already completely dark. I felt refreshed, sat up from the bed, looked at the system panel. Balance 1.25 billion. The small goal of 1 billion not only achieved, even overcompleted the mission. I nodded, satisfied, then turned to look at Dream King sleeping beside me. She was too tired, fell asleep right during the academic discussion. The last second before she completely lost consciousness. She even felt a little lucky. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Husband is such a big playboy. The next day when I refreshed woke up, Dream King was still sound asleep. I didn't wake her, went to shower first, then called her to get up. "Husband, my back hurts so much." Dream King rubbed her eyes, voice carrying heavy nasal sound and a bit of grievance. I looked at her pitiful appearance, smiled and picked her up from the bed. The two intimately washed up, arrived at the hospital, just in time to meet White Jasmine, leading interns on rounds. Seeing me and Dream King, White Jasmine's gaze clearly avoided, but, very quickly, restored cold professional look. She pretended to be calm, walked to Lian Li, gave the final pre-surgery instructions, then had Dream King sign the surgical risk agreement. Time arrived. Lian Li was pushed by nurses into the operating room. The corridor only left me and Dream King, waiting outside the OR. The red surgery in progress light above the OR, like a huge rock pressing on Dream King's heart. She clutched her hands tightly, eyes unblinking, staring at the closed door. Seeing this, I held her cold little hand, gently comforted. Don't worry, Auntie will be fine. With modern medicine so advanced, this is just minor surgery. Feeling the warmth from my palm, Dream King's mental defenses instantly collapsed. She could no longer hold it. Grievance rushed into my arms, tears falling like broken pearls. Crying voice, husband, I'm so scared. I'm scared Mom won't come back. I hugged her tightly, gently patting her back. Trust the doctor, and trust me, everything will be okay. My embrace was very warm, voice very steady, giving Dream King a great sense of security. She cried in my arms for a long time, emotions gradually calming. The surgery lasted a full 3 hours. 12 noon. The OR doors finally opened. Lian Li was pushed out by several nurses, anesthesia not worn off yet, still asleep. Mom, Dream King immediately rushed to the bed, looking at Mom's pale unresponsive face, eyes red again, softly, calling nonstop. While I found the chief surgeon, asked about Lian Li's condition. The doctor told me the surgery went very smoothly. The tumor was completely removed. Next, just observe in hospital for 1 week. If no complications, can be discharged. Hearing this good news, the heart hanging in Dream King's throat finally dropped. She hurriedly thanked the doctor repeatedly, then followed the bed, all the way pushing Mom back to the ward. I settled the mother and daughter, then turned to find White Jasmine. I at the doctor's office, found White Jasmine writing medical records. Dr. White I leaned against the doorframe, face wearing the usual smile, to thank you for the time, caring for my auntie, and to celebrate the successful surgery. Give me face tonight, come eat dinner together. White Jasmine's writing hand stopped. She of course, knew this man had ill intentions. But for some reason, inside her heart, she really felt a bit, joy and anticipation. But reason quickly won over the improper thoughts. She looked up, cold eyes, looking at me, shook her head. Thank you for the kindness. I accept your thanks. But no need to go. She didn't want to get entangled with a patient's family emotions. That would go against the white coat she wore. Hearing this, I smiled. I stepped forward until in front of her, then without hesitation, grabbed her wrist, directly pulled her out of the office, to the empty stairwell nearby. Bang! I pressed her against the wall, both arms propped on either side of her body, once again performing Kabadan. What are you doing? Let me go. White Jasmine, both embarrassed and anxious. Anyone could pass here at any time. I ignored her struggling, only lowered my head to look at her, corners of my mouth curling into a wicked smile. I know. Dealing with women strong, outside, weak inside, must peel off their hard shell layer by layer, until they go completely crazy for me. You can refuse my dinner invitation. My voice low and magnetic, full of undeniable dominance. But you must let me satisfy my hunger. White Jasmine's heart trembled at my words, cheeks instantly burning. She was afraid someone would really pass and see this scene, could only close her eyes. Like compromising, slightly lifted her head. Seeing this, I no longer hesitated, lowered my head and kissed her. At first, just a dragonfly touching water kiss, but when White Jasmine thought it was over, wanted to push me away, I suddenly deepened this kiss. No matter how she pounded my chest, I remained unmoved, until I needed to breathe. Only then did I comfortably let her go. White Jasmine fiercely glared at me, then turned and fled without looking back. I looked at her escaping back and smiled, then returned to the ward. When I got back to the ward, Lian Li had woken from anesthesia. I immediately stepped forward, concerned, asked Auntie, how do you feel now? Though Lian Li's face was still a bit pale, her spirit looked good. She weakly smiled. Feel very good, thank you little Sue. I smiled, held the hand without IV. Auntie, we're family. Talking like this makes us strangers. The 3 words "were family" made Dream King beside us blush on her little face. Heart sweet, like eating honey. I hope in the future, family members become more. Otherwise, it would really waste me. Baby White Jasmine, during this time help me take care of Auntie Lian. At the beginning give you an energy supplement injection. White Jasmine, just back to the office, saw the message, angry enough to grind her teeth. How can this man be so shameless? Eating from the bowl, looking at the pod and even injection. Shameless peak playboy. She angrily typed 2 words and sent White Jasmine, Playboy. I saw the reply, not angry but smiled. The harder a woman curses with her mouth, the more her heart actually likes done. Put away phone, said to Dream King. Let's go. Baby, come eat lunch with husband. The two ate, then packed one for Lian Li, a light liquid portion back. After everything done, I and Dream King temporarily left the hospital. Husband, where are we going now? Dream King held my arm, curiously asked. I pinched her little cheek, smiled, said, go return that Ferrari. Dream King eyes widened in surprise. Husband, that car was rented. Yes, I calmly admitted. I rented it for the experience. See if driving feels good. Result, drove a few days, feels just okay. Ordinary. This time, after returning the car, husband will take you to buy a real top-tier supercar. Hearing me casually judge a several million yuan Ferrari, ordinary. Dream King half understood, half not nodded. She didn't know much about cars anyway. Whatever husband says is what it is. The two got in the car, drove straight toward the 4S dealership. Half an hour later, the two arrived. I parked the car, found staff completed the return procedures. A sour voice rang out not far away. Oh, who did I think it was? Isn't this my former licker Anthony Sue? I turned toward the voice, only to see ex-girlfriend Lily comfortably holding the arm of a middle-aged, balding man, face full of mockery looking. Seeing me just returned the car, Lily Phi's mocking became thicker, pretending money ran out, huh? The balding middle-aged man beside her, Lu Qiang, also scanned me with trash-looking eyes. He hugged Lily Phi's waist, contemptuously snorted, Phi. Why bother with this kind of person? Waste of words. Seeing me silent, Lily Phi's mockery grew even stronger. Why silent now? No money, don't pretend to be rich, second generation. Renting a car to chase girls. You're really something. Now exposed your true form. Dream King couldn't watch anymore. She tugged my sleeve, softly asked husband, who is she? Why speak so harshly? I gently smiled and explained. She's just a public bus. Lily Phi heard this and instantly exploded. Dream King wore an innocent face, curiously raised her head and asked husband, what does public bus mean? I indulgently rubbed Dream King's head, smiled and explained, it means anyone can get on. Oh, Dream King suddenly understood. Then, without any restraint, loudly said, then, it must be very dirty, right? Her clear voice wasn't loud, but everyone present heard it clearly. Hermp. Daring to scold my husband, you deserve to die. Lily Phi was so angry she trembled all over, pointed at Dream King and cursed, little kid. You dare scold me? Dream King hated it most when people called her little. Instantly flew into a rage. She placed both hands on her hips, proudly puffed out her chest, retorted. The little kid is you. Your whole family are little kids. Lily Phi unconsciously lowered her head to look at herself, then looked at the magnificent scenery opposite, her face turning purple, then white. There's no harm without comparison. Compared like this, she really did seem like a little kid. Lu Qiang beside her had already been aroused by Dream King's pure, adorable yet curvaceous figure. He pushed aside the now boring Lily Phi, leered at Dream King, little girl. Don't follow this broke loser. As long as you follow me, I'll give you 10,000 allowance every month, how about it? Lily Phi saw this, refused to let go, clung to Lu Qiang's arm, coquettishly, said, Qiang darling, you still have me, what are you doing? Get lost. Lu Qiang irritably shook her off. I've been tired of you for ages. Don't get in my way here. I watched the drama unfolding before me, lightly smiled, then lowered my head to look at Dream King, asked 10,000. Baby, do you think that's a lot? Dream King shook her head, seriously, answered, not much, not even enough for the change husband gives me. Lu Qiang heard this and laughed on the spot. He had already heard clearly from Lily Phi. I was just a poor loser. A licker, where would I get money from? Haha, kid, you really know how to brag. Lu Qiang pointed at me. And allowance? Does your monthly salary even reach 3,000? Driving a Ferrari, yet it's still rented. Coming here to act like a domineering president with me. I wore a smiling face listening to his mockery, not angry in the slightest. Getting angry at a clown would truly lower my own class. I sighed, held Dream King's small hand, gently said, let's go. Baby, we shouldn't waste time with clowns. Go pick a car you like. Today we drive it home. However, my calm appearance in Lu Qiang's eyes became proof of stubbornly saving face. What got exposed by me? Want to run? Lu Qiang refused to let it go, blocked my way. Changed the topic to cars, kid. Today I'll leave my words here. If you can buy a car over 100,000 inches this store, I Lu Qiang will kneel on the spot and call you daddy, and livestream myself eating 10 spicy hot pots. Hearing Lu Qiang's bold words, I always satisfy this kind of demand. Deal, a promise is a promise. But if you lose and don't dare eat, what then? Don't tell me I have to drive the new car, chasing you around the world to feed you. Lily Fi saw I still dared to be stubborn, contemptuously spat. Pretending, keep pretending, dying to save face, suffering the consequences. I want to see, later, when you can't pay, what kind of expression you'll have. I was too lazy to bother with this pair of living treasures. Pulled Dream King's small hand, gently said, baby, ignore them. Let's go look at cars. I didn't rush to let the salesman introduce. Instead took Dream King strolling around the showroom. Baby, pick whichever you like. Husband pays. She softly said. Husband, I don't understand cars. I think as long as it can drive and shield from wind and rain, it's fine. Hearing this, I walked to the extended custom Rolls-Royce Phantom beside, turned to look at Dream King next to me, gently asked, baby, do you like it? Though Dream King didn't understand cars, she was still captivated by this car's luxurious interior and starry ceiling. She vigorously nodded, like it good. Then this one. After saying that, I directly took out my bank card from my pocket, handed it to the male salesman. Full payment, swiped the card. The male salesman saw the bank card, could barely contain the corners of his mouth, hands trembling as he took the card, excitedly said, yes, yes, sir. I'll go get the POS machine right away. Lu Qiang beside us saw this scene, burst out laughing again. Ha ha, keep pretending. Lily Fi helplessly shook her head. You two really are a perfect match. Both love scamming food and drinks like this. I suggest you lock them up. Don't let them out to harm others. At this moment, Lu Qiang was still mocking. Right then, the male salesman excitedly ran back, holding the bank card with both hands. Respectfully returned it to me. Mr. Su, payment successful. Here are your car keys. This Phantom now belongs to you. You can drive it away anytime. I took the keys and nodded. I casually spun the key ring on my index finger, toward the dumbfounded Lu Qiang and Lily Fi. Slowly twirled it twice. Lu Qiang and Lily Fi were completely stunned. Both faces full of question marks, brain dead, CPU nearly burning. Didn't you say he was a broke loser? How did the payment succeed? 20 million, though. At this moment, Lu Qiang pushed Lily Fi away, stared at me, continued using that logic to mock. Pretending, what pretending? If you really had money, you licked Lily Fi for 3 years before. Why couldn't you even hold hands? The more Lu Qiang spoke, the prouder he became, feeling he had completely grasped the poor loser. Now I'll give you one chance. He rubbed his hands, smiling, his greedy eyes roaming over Dream King's body. Immediately kneel and call me daddy 3 times. Then obediently hand over this little girlfriend to me. In exchange, I can consider gifting you this used goods. Lily Fi. My face instantly turned completely cold. I stepped forward. My right arm gathered strength, delivered a hard slap onto Lu Qiang's greasy face. A crisp sound echoed throughout the showroom. Look at that midlife bald head of yours. Take it to fill the sea for the Jingwei bird. Look at that belly again. Did you get pregnant with Nezha or what? Pregnant for 3 years, 6 months already. With your kind of figure, only a discarded shoe like Lily Fi can board the public bus and swallow you. Normal people would vomit last night's dinner just looking. Dream King watched my domineering posture, startled, but felt more touched inside. And that familiar flutter. Husband is so handsome when angry. And that slapping motion looks so familiar. Aya, so embarrassing. Lu Qiang stupidly covered his face, mind buzzing. Lily Fi beside him heard me insult her too. Immediately refused to accept. Anthony Su, what do you mean? You hit this balding dead man, why drag me into it? That pale face instantly showed 5 clear finger marks. It looked painful. Who are you calling bald? Lu Qiang pointed at Lily Fi's nose and cursed, go baby. Don't waste time with clowns. Keep watching and your eyes will go blind. I was driving the brand new Rolls-Royce Phantom, with Dream King in the passenger seat, cruising the most bustling streets of the city. I very much enjoyed this feeling. This is what you call rebirth. This is what you call life. I glanced at the passenger seat, discovered my baby. Dream King was still pouting, looking sulky. What's wrong, baby? Still angry because of those 2 clowns? I smiled, reached out, pinched her sulky cheek. They scolded you, Dream King aggrievedly said, and called you poor. I'm not happy hearing that. I was amused by her protective little attitude. I freed one hand, pulled her into my embrace. Getting angry over that kind of people isn't worth it. They're not even worthy of shining your shoes. One more glance at them dirties your eyes. Your smile is worth more than this car, more than all my assets. I won't allow you to be unhappy because of that trash. Got it? Dream King was completely coaxed by my domineering president words. The little unhappiness in her heart instantly vanished. She leaned against my shoulder, vigorously nodded. Listening to husband. Right. I indulgently rubbed her head, then changed tone to reward my obedient baby. Husband will take you somewhere fun. We're going house hunting. Buy one for your mom, so the old lady can live comfortably from now on. Enjoy her later years in peace. Dream King heard this and felt overwhelmed by favor. Her small hands kept waving. No need, husband. This is too expensive. I can't accept. But I deliberately made a stern face. Tone firm. I said, buy then buy. The money is earned by me. I give it to whoever I want. You have no right to refuse. You are Anthony Sue's woman. Your mom is my mom. Buying a house for my mom is perfectly justified. No one can interfere. If you dare say one more no, believe me, I'll stop the car right now, and do you right here in the car. Dream King was rendered blushing by my domineering yet shameless words, her heart lacking sweetness. Already used to you. Seems like in this life, she couldn't escape this man's palm. She lowered her head, obediently answered, okay, listening to husband. Seeing her cute obedient appearance, I smiled, satisfied. My foot stepped on the accelerator. The black phantom, like an elegant flash of lightning, raced toward the most high-end sales center in the city. It's just that I suddenly remembered. The original host's parents were still living in the old small house. Well, they've been poor for many years. One more time won't matter. And they're still young. Only 45, perfect age to strive. Wait until this year's New Year. I'll bring Dream King and White Jasmine home to meet them. Let them be happy. Then help them improve their lives. Drove for about half an hour to reach Tanlan Villas, the top wealthy district in the center of River City. Main theme is tranquility amidst bustle. A single villa starts at 7 million. When Anthony Sue steadily parked in front of the sales center, 2 neat rows of sales staff were already standing at the entrance. All handsome men and beautiful women. The sales manager even jogged over, personally opened the car door for me. Welcome to Tanlan Villas. A tidy chorus greeted. The greeting was loud and uniform. The display was full. I nodded, satisfied. Not bad, just for this eyesight and service attitude. Today I must take the most expensive one. I held the still slightly shy Dream King, followed the sales manager into the grand sales hall. Sir, our Tanlan Villas. The sales manager was about to start introducing, but was waved off by me. No need for introduction. I only have 3 requirements, I stated firmly. 1, it has to be big. 2, it has to be comfortable. 3, it has to be expensive. The more expensive the better. Dream King heard this, though her heart ached for money, but seeing husband's domineering spend money like dirt posture, her big eyes were full of little idol stars. Husband is too handsome, too manly. The sales manager also met this kind of situation for the first time. People buying houses. Who doesn't try to bargain? The cheaper, the better. Someone like me who openly demands the most expensive. He was meeting for the first time. Understood, sir. The sales manager instantly understood. Immediately led me to the center of the sand table. Sir, this one is our king of villas. 500 square meters. Total price 12.5 million. Has a super large private lawn and garden. Usually plant flowers, raise grass. Very comfortable. 12.5 million. Dream King heard the number. Shocked, speechless. She originally thought a few million at most. Didn't expect it directly doubled. Too expensive. She hurriedly tugged my sleeve. Softly advised. Husband, this is too expensive. Let's look at something else. Hearing this, I laughed, pinched her little cheek. Then gently said, expensive. Where expensive? I still think it's cheap. Beside us, a female salesman was introducing to another customer. Heard this. Directly froze. Look, is this human speech? Others woo girls by gifting million yuan villas. The damn man at her house only knows to gift 001 condoms. Take us to see the house. If satisfied, we'll sign today, I said to the sales manager. Then I pulled Dream King, followed the staff onto the sightseeing car. headed toward the King Villa. Huge crystal chandelier, hanging from the 7-meter-high living room ceiling, simply larger than the living room of Dream King's previous tiny ugly home. Even larger, sir. This villa is ready to move in. All appliances are top international brands. Dream King, following behind, was completely dazzled. So this is the world of the rich. Too extravagant. I walked around very satisfied. Directly said to the sales manager. This one. When swiping the card for procedures, I directly had the staff write on the property certificate the names Dream King and her mother Leanne Lee. When Dream King saw on the certificate, her name and her mother's appeared, she could no longer hold it. Before meeting me, she and her mother squeezed into a tiny ugly home, less than 40 square meters. Leaking in summer, leaking wind in every day, worrying about a few hundred yuan for medicine. After meeting me, I not only gave mom the best treatment, now, even gifted them a dreamlike million-yuan villa. This feeling was like a dream, even more unreal than a dream. She pouted. Her eyes instantly turned red. Now, her eyes were full of the man in front of her. After finishing all the procedures, I handed the keys and certificate to Dream King. Let's go, my lady owner. Take me to see the room we'll live in from now on. Dream King blushed vigorously. The two didn't choose the largest master bedroom, but picked the sunniest secondary bedroom. I said, in the future, we'll live in an even bigger manner. This one we'll only come back for holidays. A secondary bedroom is enough. After choosing the room, I picked Dream King up, gently placed her on that soft, wide 2-meter bed. Dream King, like an clingy kitten, naturally rolled into my arms, her little head lightly rubbing against my chest. Voice, soft and sweet. Husband, you're so good to me. This unconscious action of hers instantly put me into battle mode. Just saying good isn't enough. I wickedly smiled, lifted her chin, lowered my head. I'm coming. Dream King hummed twice, then gave up, resisting, foolishly responded. 2.5 hours later, I looked at the exhausted Dream King, felt refreshed inside. Dream King's favorability 100. Congratulations, host received 10 million cash. On the big soft bed, while I felt completely satisfied, comfortably holding warm, fragrant, soft jade in my arms, whole body refreshed, I had a thought. Checked the system panel. Balance 1.3 billion. Just spent over 10 million. Not only instantly recouped, even earned a bit. Not bad. Spending makes me happy. Spending makes me conquer. The two intimately cuddled for a while, then held the now almost limp puddle. Dream King went to the bathroom to wash. After that, the two sat again in the majestic, extremely luxurious Rolls-Royce Phantom, headed to the next destination, Cloud Peak Manor. When my Phantom slowly stopped in front of the sales center, 2 rows of elegantly uniformed, each with top-tier beauty female sales staff, already showed their most enthusiastic smiles. Welcome, welcome, honored guest. Cloud Peak Manor. I really like this feeling. In my previous life I was a corporate ox and horse, every day oppressed by bosses. In this life I finally became the object of others' envy and hate. The one above, Bliss. Dream King followed behind me, looking at the magnificent palatial sales hall, felt no waves in her heart, even slightly wanted to yawn. I looked around the sand table, very satisfied with the layout and greenery here. I directly interrupted the female salesman, who was about to give a long introduction, bluntly asked, which is the most expensive? The female salesman heard this, her smile almost couldn't hold. Voice excited with a tremble. Sir, our King Manor is the #1 manor on the mountaintop, 1,000 square meters. Own helicopter pad, private cinema, constant temperature swimming pool and standard basketball court, etc. Facilities very complete. The entire manor designed by top Italian designer. Just the living room crystal chandelier alone worth 3 million. Total price, 1 billion. I nodded, satisfied. Good. Take it. I took out that ordinary looking bank card again. Swiped the card. This time I didn't add Dream King's name. After all, in the future, more sisters will live here. If someone gets jealous and tears up the certificate, it won't be good. The layout must be open. Dream King didn't mind this. Husband already gave her enough. She was very satisfied. After finishing procedures, I took Dream King onto the sightseeing car to the #1 mountaintop manor. Just the huge carved golden iron gate was already bigger than Dream King's previous home, and far more imposing. The two spent over an hour, barely forcing themselves to tour this extremely luxurious manor. Once Dream King stood on the large second-floor terrace, looking at the distant city view, felt like she was dreaming. From today, she would live here. She hugged me tightly from behind, pressed her face against my back full of gratitude and love. I turned around, held her in my arms, smiled and said, "Baby, starting tomorrow we live here. Tomorrow I'll go with you to school to pack your things." Dream King obediently nodded, buried her face in my chest, softly whispered, "I'll listen to husband." I suddenly remembered something, opened my mouth. Oh, Mom's surgery was successful. We must properly thank Dr. White. Tonight let's invite her to dinner. Dream King heard this. Her heart thumped, immediately, surging with joy. It's here, finally reached this step. Wah! My mother and daughter finally see the light. She tried to suppress the excitement in her heart, raised her head, showed an understanding, considerate, sweet smile. Husband, okay. But I want to stay longer at the hospital with Mom. So can you, on behalf of me and Mom, properly thank Dr. White? I instantly became happy on the spot. There's such a good thing. I originally thought bringing Dream King along was to prevent her jealousy and conveniently play some exciting games at the table. Didn't expect this girl to actively create a solo opportunity for me. Then tonight the room for performance can be huge. For example, after dinner go to hotel. Deeply exchange doctor-patient relationship. Of course. Baby, you're so thoughtful. I smiled, agreed, then kissed Dream King on the cheek. I took out my phone, skillfully tapped White Jasmine's avatar, sent a message, "Darling." The other side had just come down from the operating table, tired, almost collapsing. White Jasmine saw this message, almost threw her phone. This playboy just finished with his girlfriend, now invites me. Professional time manager. She angrily replied 2 words. White Jasmine, no date. I looked at the reply. The smile at my mouth corners became even more delighted. If you don't come, I'll go to your office right now, let you see the abs I just trained. White Jasmine saw this reply, instantly pictured my powerful body, her cheeks uncontrollably heated. This rogue. I smiled, sent the address, then comfortably put away the phone. At this moment Dream King in my arms suddenly looked up, used an innocent yet curious voice, asked, "Husband, will I soon have another sister?" I awkwardly dry coughed twice. What are you saying? It's fine, husband. Then she even encouraged me. I was shocked. I looked at Dream King, actively acting spoiled and begging. Momentarily didn't know what to say. I never expected Dream King to discover, even less expected, her reaction after discovering would be like this. This is just the beginning. Hasn't even truly started exerting force yet. But thinking again, I felt it was very reasonable. After all, Dream King's figure is very petite. Hey, I pinched Dream King's little cheek, smiled, asked, "You're not jealous?" Dream King heard this, sighed with a world-weary expression. She buried her little face in my chest, voice sweet, with a sobbing tone. "Husband, actually I think I also need to rest for 2 days." At this moment, I was driving, taking Dream King back to the hospital. "You stay here with Auntie, okay? If you miss me, message me," I instructed before leaving. "Rest assured, husband. You go ahead." Dream King stood on tiptoes, kissed my cheek, then made an encouraging gesture. "Wishing you open victorious. Horse arrives success." I smiled, shook my head. This girl really is a treasure. Originally planned to wait for White Jasmine to get off work, drive her to dinner, conveniently cultivate feelings on the way. But this suggestion was heartlessly rejected by White Jasmine. I didn't mind. This woman still wants to play hard to get with me. I drove alone, straight to the most luxurious 5-star hotel in River City, Presidential Suite. I directly booked the room at the front desk, then had the hotel restaurant prepare a table of top dishes, delivered straight to the room. Add 2 bottles of 82 Lafite for me. I leaned on the sofa, said to the head waiter on the phone, "Those so-called successful people casually open a bottle of 82 Lafite to rinse their mouth. Perception directly maxed. Now that I have money, I must at least try what it tastes like." Everything prepared, I comfortably showered. I wore a bathrobe, lay on the bed scrolling phone, leisurely waiting for the prey to walk into the trap. 8 p.m. The entrance of the high-end hotel in the city center. A red BMW stopped. White Jasmine took a deep breath, raised her head to look at the golden brilliant hotel sign, her mood complicated to the extreme. She felt she must be crazy. That playboy invited her, and she actually came. And the place to eat was actually the presidential suite of the hotel. Is this eating? This is clearly a hangmen banquet. Damn it, she clearly knew the other party had ill intentions. yet still devilishly came. Even carefully dressed up for this. She tightly clutched the small bag in her hand. Expression, nervous yet with a little anticipation, standing before the room door. White Jasmine felt her heart about to jump out of her throat. I was lying on the bed amusedly playing with my phone. Right then, the dong-dong knocking sounded. The corners of my mouth instantly curled into a triumphant smile. Here she comes. The moment the door opened, my breathing stopped for a second. The White Jasmine before me in the daytime white coat, cold temperament, doctor were completely different people. She wore a black body-hugging dress, feet in 10 centimeters. Black high heels. I unconsciously swallowed thud thud. I am the passionate captain taking off. White Jasmine was stared at by my undisguised, aggressive gaze, feeling uncomfortable all over. Come in. I smiled, stepped aside, made an inviting gesture. White Jasmine hesitated, still stubbornly walked in. Her front foot just stepped into the room. The door behind closed with a bang, followed by the click of locking. White Jasmine's heart tightened. Why lock the door? White Jasmine nervously asked. Of course, to prevent you from running. White Jasmine unconsciously stepped back, her back against the cold wall. No way back. I wasn't in a hurry to do anything. I only pulled White Jasmine's slightly cold hand, brought her to the dining table. Sit. Eat first. The table was already full of exquisite dishes, beautiful in color, aroma and taste. Still steaming. White Jasmine looked at this table, clearly a carefully prepared dinner, her heart even more mixed with 5 flavors. I skillfully opened that bottle of 82 Lafite, poured a glass for myself and White Jasmine. The bright red wine, in the tall crystal glass, gently swirled, emitting enchanting light. I held the glass toward White Jasmine, smiled. Baby, tonight we don't go home until drunk. White Jasmine heard this. Her long lashes lightly trembled. She silently picked up the glass, lightly clinked with mine. The clear sound echoed in the quiet room. White Jasmine took a small sip, then put down the glass, her mind full of my baby. Though on messages I often called her baby, this was the first time in real life calling her baby. The feeling wasn't bad, but I said not going home until drunk. If drunk, how to go home? She knew very well in her heart. Tonight she probably couldn't go home. But for some reason, not only did she not resist, she even vaguely anticipated it a little. This dinner was eaten very warmly. The two didn't talk much, but the battle under the table never stopped. You're very naughty. White Jasmine's ears were completely red. I looked. The corners of my mouth curled into a wicked smile. What? Not to your taste? No, no. Very delicious. White Jasmine panicked answered. Delicious? Then why not look at me? White Jasmine choked, her cheeks even hotter. She secretly glanced at me, right into my deep smiling eyes. Like an electric current passed through. She immediately lowered her head again, heart beating wildly, uncontrollably. This man is too bad. Finally, this torturous dinner for her was nearing the end. White Jasmine felt like receiving amnesty, felt if it continued, she might faint from a regular heartbeat. She immediately stood from her chair, because the movement was too hasty. Her voice carried panic. It's late. I have to go. She told herself she must leave immediately. If not leave today, she really couldn't leave. After saying, she grabbed her small bag, didn't dare look, almost panicked, ran toward the room door. However, while passing by me, because too nervous, her foot suddenly slipped. White Jasmine let out a startled cry. Her body instantly lost balance. My eyes, quick hands fast, tightly caught her into my arms. Really so soft. White Jasmine's cheeks, hot enough to fry eggs. She struggled, wanting to stand up from my arms. But how could I give her that chance? My arms slightly exerted force. Directly, a Princess Carrie lifted her horizontally. You put me down. White Jasmine, both embarrassed and anxious. Before White Jasmine could react, I once again performed Kabadon. She was Kabadoned again, looking at the handsome face right before her eyes. White Jasmine's breathing also became rapid. Running what? I smiled, asked. I really have to go home. White Jasmine tightly gripped the bedsheet with both hands. My home has a curfew. Can't come back late. Is that so? I lightly smiled, as if completely seeing through her inner struggle and the duplicity. I reached out one hand. My long fingers gently brushed through her messy hair, the action extremely gentle. Look at me, I ordered. White Jasmine uncontrollably raised her head. 4 eyes met, the atmosphere a bit awkward. I looked at her, my gaze gradually becoming blurred. Knowing the fire was enough, I gave her no chance to think or escape. directly lowered my head and kissed. White Jasmine's eyes instantly widened. This kiss domineering and powerful. I didn't make the next move, only used my fingers to lightly trace her lips. Still want to leave. Leave. Now, she didn't even have strength to stand. How to leave? White Jasmine didn't answer, also had no strength to answer, only silently closed her eyes. Her long lashes, under the light uncontrollably, trembled lightly. I lightly smiled, then tightly held her. I buried my face in her hair, greedily inhaled her pleasant scent. I heard White Jasmine let out a dreamlike mmm. The smile on my face deepened. Now he had removed all her strength and disguise. All her reason and pride were burned away. But what if you want me, I won't give it. Not only did I not take the next step, I even loosened the beauty in my arms, then properly put on the bathrobe, face showing an interested smile. I looked down at White Jasmine from above, then slowly said, Dr. White, to beg someone you need the attitude of begging. Understand? Saying this completely shattered the last lock, called reason deep in White Jasmine's heart. Now, in her mind only one thought remained: getting home. White Jasmine forcefully sat up from the bed, actively leaned into my arms. She whispered beside my ear, pleading, her voice carrying a desperate frenzy. Anthony Sue, please Dr. White, what do you want? She pressed close to my ear, used a voice only we could hear, ashamed, yet bold, spoke those 5 words. I heard and smiled. I took out my phone, then opened a photo showed White Jasmine. I can satisfy your request, but you have to buy one thing. The image was something lipstick-sized. I continued, remember, every day send me photos to check. Understand? White Jasmine looked, her cheeks slightly red. She lightly nodded. Understand. Now okay. I gently kissed her lips. I lay on the bed. Just received a message from Dream King. Dream King husband, how's the progress? I looked at this message, smiled, recounted everything that just happened, told Dream King everything. Ah husband, you're too bad. If you did this to me, I would really go crazy. Haha good. Later, after Sister White leaves, come to the hotel with me. I sent the address to Dream King, then satisfied, put away the phone. Right then, the bathroom door was pushed open. I nodded, satisfied, then waved at her. White Jasmine obediently came to sit beside me, looked at me enchanted. I lifted her chin, looked at her mesmerizing and blurred eyes, lowered my head and kissed, until White Jasmine almost couldn't breathe. Only then did I reluctantly release. You can go home now. I wiped the corner of my mouth. Remember what I said, only obedient people get rewards. White Jasmine heard these shameful words. In her heart, not the slightest aversion. Instead really liked it. She stood up, took her small bag from the table, walked toward the door. Before leaving the room, she even specially turned back with a little blame, gave me a hooked glance. After White Jasmine left, I satisfied lay on the bed playing phone. Not long after Dream King arrived, based on the principle of fairness, justice, openness, let her also experience once what just happened. Very soon in the room, rang out her soft sweet pleading. Husband, please, you're the best. I lightly laughed, lowered my head and kissed. Dream King's favorability, 100. Congratulations. Host 10 million cash. X3 balance 60 million. The next day 10 a.m. The Black Phantom slowly arrived at the gate of River City Vocational College. Under the girls' dormitory building, I stepped down from the car. Today I wore a well-tailored casual outfit, 182 centimeters tall, plus a face handsome as a celebrity, instantly caused a series of gasps around. Oh God, tall, handsome, and rich. Simply, the male lead from novels materialized. Soon, several girls who thought themselves somewhat pretty gathered courage, prepared to approach and flirt. However, I didn't even glance at them. Instead, straightforwardly walked to the passenger door. Like a considerate gentleman, pulled open the door. Everyone, curiously, focused on the passenger seat. They all wanted to see who could make such a perfect male god personally open the door and welcome. After all, who? The next second, Dream King stepped out of the car. She wore a cute pink Lolita dress, tied in twin tails, an exquisite face, still carrying the drowsiness of just waking, looking both innocent and seductive. The moment she appeared, those girls who were ready to rush up for contact instantly deflated, one by one like frost-bitten eggplants. Can't compare, simply can't compare, compared to the girl before them in looks or figure, perfect without flaw. They were simply roadside weeds. Right then, someone in the crowd recognized Dream King. It's her, I remember now. She's the campus belle of preschool education, Dream King. As expected, beauties pair with handsome guys. This crooked melon split date. Better obediently play dating sims online. I as a male couldn't enter the girl's dorm, so only let Dream King go up alone to pack luggage. While I leaned against the car door, lit a cigarette, enjoying being surrounded and admired by countless girls. This feeling, how to describe? Just one word: bliss. Just as I was smoking and admiring the youthful, beautiful junior sisters around, then an extremely discordant voice rang out. Anthony Sue, you dare block me? I cursed, annoyed, didn't even bother turning my head. I could guess with my toes. The person was the original host's 3-year white moonlight liquor Lily Phi. Isn't that the finance department campus belle Lily Phi? Why is she here too? What's her relationship with this tycoon young master? Or is the tycoon two-timing? Doesn't look like it. Look at the tycoon's expression. Disgust almost written on his face. Lily Phi heard the surrounding discussion, not only not embarrassed, instead showed a triumphant smile. She wanted exactly this effect. The more people the better. She walked in front of me, arms crossed slightly, raised her chin, used a voice declaring ownership, said, "Stop guessing. He Anthony Sue is my liquor." Hearing this, I directly laughed from anger. I really didn't understand this woman's brain structure, what it was made of. No. Are you okay? I wore a concerned, mentally challenged expression. If not, go eat some more Hawthorne. Lily Phi's face instantly turned green. Anthony Sue, you dare scold me? She angrily shouted. Believe me, I'll never pay attention to you again. I heard this and became happy, even clapped. Oh, then I really have to thank you. You must keep your word. Right then, Dream King pulled a pink suitcase, walked down from the dorm building. Beside her followed 3 girls, also helping carry big and small bags. These 3 were Dream King's dorm mates. All looked very pretty, full of youthful radiance. I roughly scanned. The 3 averaged around 75 beauty points, though not as good as my baby Dream King, but, among ordinary people, absolutely beauties with high head turning rates. Dream King originally saw me. Her face still wore a happy smile, but when she saw Lily Phi beside, her smile instantly vanished. She quickly walked to my side, pulled my sleeve, softly asked, "Husband, why is she here?" I indulgently pinched Dream King's little cheek, gently explained. "It's fine. No need to mind her. Just a fly. Let's go." "Okay." Dream King obediently nodded. Then, she introduced her 3 dorm mates to me. "Husband, this is River Moon. This is Willow Swallow. And Grace King. They're all my good sisters." To thank them for helping carry things, and also to show off a bit in front of everyone, I directly smiled, said, "3 beauties. Thank you for the hard work. Come on, take out your payment codes." River Moon, Willow, Swallow and Grace King exchanged glances, though a bit puzzled, still obediently took out their phones. Without another word, I transferred 88,888 yuan to each. The 3 dorm mates saw the long string of numbers on their phones, directly froze. CPU. Nearly burning. Lily Phi watched this scene, jealous, until her eyes turned red. These originally should all be hers. She could no longer hold back, rushed up, grabbed my arm, used a pleading voice, said, "Anthony Sue, I was wrong, I was really wrong. I'll change everything from now on. Will you continue licking me, okay?" The moment these words came out, not to mention me, even the surrounding onlookers couldn't watch. I, even more disgusted, shook off her hand, stepped back 2 steps, as if afraid of catching something dirty. "If you harass again, believe me, I'll call the police and report you for prostitution." 3 beauties. To thank you for taking care of my family's Dream King, tonight I invite you to my new home as guests, and warm the house. Don't know if the 3 of you will give face. Dream King also happily echoed, "Yes, yes." Moon, Moon, Swallow, Swallow, Grace, you all come okay. Our new home is at Cloud Peak Manor, and it's the #1 King Manor, super big. You've never seen it. River Moon, Willow, Swallow and Grace King had just recovered from the 88K shock. The next second invited to the most high-end wealthy manor in River City as guests. The feeling too fantastical, simply more thrilling than a roller coaster. Cloud Peak Manor, that's a legendary place. Being able to go see would broaden horizons. Only fools would refuse. The 3 looked at each other, immediately nodded, crazily like chickens pecking rice. In unison, said, "Give face." Definitely give face. I smiled. Walked to the rear, opened the trunk. I put Dream King's luggage inside, then like a gentleman opened the doors for the ladies. Dream King naturally sat in the passenger seat. I got in, started the car, then politely opened the doors for the girls.